G'day, Teeth here from pickinglessons.com. In this mandolin lesson, we're going to take a look at this great Celtic tune by the name of Good-Natured Man. Now, it's a fun tune to play, but what we're really going to focus on within this tune in this lesson is working on playing triplets and using the follow-through technique to do so. So we'll talk about that when we get to it. So we really have a focus of a lot of triplets throughout the rhythm of this melody. So we're really going to make that a feature of what we're working on as part of this lesson. We're in the key of G. In a moment, we're going to take a look at part A of the tune here in this lesson. But if you head to pickinglessons.com, you're going to get yourself a copy of the tab we're working from with a notation in there too. You'll also find the second part of this lesson where we'll break down part B and work through that as well. So pickinglessons.com. Now, we're going to start out with a slow play through here. It's a hornpipe, so we're basically playing it with a bit of swing rather than straight eighths. We're swinging in the eighths. We'll talk about that as we get to it as well. And we do have a lot of triplets in here, so we'll work through those as we get to them. So part A, nice and slow up first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there we go, part A. Now, we do start off with a triplet for the pickup, but we'll come back to that. Let's start at measure 1. Measure 1, we're going to look at our picking in our left hand. So basically, when we're playing just a pretty standard rhythm with quarter notes and eighth notes, we'll be picking down on the quarter note and then down and up on the eighth notes. As we do there in the first two measures. So down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Notice that I'm swinging the eighth notes. So a hornpipe, generally speaking, has that type of feel to it. So our eighth notes are played like that rather than playing them straight. So I'll play it straight for a moment. Play it with that swing, or the bounce, or however you want to describe it. We're working on with the swing feel here at the moment, so bouncing those eighth notes. Now very quickly, to our left hand position basically is playing in your standard position here for the mandolin. Your first finger will cover that second, and your second finger on the third, little finger there up on 7, third finger on fret 5, just standard fingering. It's all in the tablature, so you'll be right with that. Now, moving on to the triplets, our pickup note. What we're going to do with our triplets, we're going to change our picking rather than perhaps picking them as a down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down that we might do a little bit in this Celtic sort of music. We're actually going to pick them in a follow-through technique as an exercise. So what I mean by that is rather than going down, up, down for the first 3 triplet notes and then having to pick down again for the first beat of measure 1, we're going to approach it in this way. Down, down, up, down. So what we've done there is I've followed through on the second and the first string. So we're going down stroke, up stroke. I'm down on the first beat of measure 1 now. So alternatively, often we play these triplets as a down, up, down. So 1, 2, 3 notes, down, up, down. When we have 2 of them, down, up, down, down, up, down. That's okay. The tempo on this one's up a little bit quicker. So using the follow-through technique on this one is really nice. It's just an alternative way of doing it. You could do it with a down, up, down method. What we're doing here though, follow-through technique, down, down, up. So I'm basically sweeping across those 2 strings, so down, down, and then picking up, which sets me up for the next downbeat, which is kind of nice. Now, we're going to go down, up, down, down, into the first couple of measures. So try that as an exercise. So it might be a little bit tricky if you're used to just sort of alternating your picking all the time. This is going to be a little bit more challenging perhaps, but it's a great technique to get on top of. So triplet at the beginning, 3, 4, and 1. Okay, follow through there. 3, down, down, up, down. And again, 3, 4, and down. 3, down, down, up, down. 3, down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. That's what we're doing there for that triplet. So basically the idea is we're picking string 2, then we have to pick string 1, so we keep heading down in that same direction. We come back on the same string, Then we alternate to the next note on the same string. So when you've got notes on different strings, pick in the direction of the movement of that note. If you're on the same string, just alternating your picking. That's the idea with the follow through technique. We'll do a little bit more of that in a second. So let's keep moving through. Measure 3 is pretty straightforward. And then measure 4, we come across some more triplets. So let's have a look at that one. Measure 4, we have triplets all on the same string. So this one we're going to approach with a purely alternating picking, but what it means is that we will go down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So first triplet, down, up, down. Second triplet, up, down, up. We could force down, up, down, down, up, down, down. That's nice. On some of my previous lessons here for the mandolin, playing this Celtic music with the triplets, I've done that. This is a variation, so we're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Still emphasizing the triplet, 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a. But we're just alternating our picking, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Which realistically is more efficient. Our hand's not moving more than it needs to. So with the follow through technique and then just a straight alternating for this passage here, our hand's only moving as it needs to. We're not passing over the string then coming back to play it as we might if we were just sticking to a down, up, down, down, up, down. It's a worthwhile exercise to look at, and it's great for a variation for your right hand. So moving to the next triplet in this measure actually, we're back to the follow through technique. Down, up, down, down. So that's like the pickup. So why don't we go from the pickup through to the end of measure 4, then we'll close out the end of part A here. Okay, so from the pickup notes through to the measure 4. So starting with the follow through technique, 3, 4 and a 1. Just straight picking here. Down ups with that swing feel. Now the triplets. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Follow through technique. Getting us into measure 5. So sit down and work on those variations for the picking. The variations, to be honest, make this much easier to play because it's not a slow tune, and when we were playing those triplets, when they come in, they actually are quite tricky to play if you're using the other variation you could use that we spoke about. So using the follow through technique and the straight alternating technique works great for this tune just because of the tempo it sits. I've heard it played quicker than this as well. So at the beginning of this lesson was about 160. I've heard it up to 180 or more. Triplets at that speed are going to be quite tricky. So forcing those 3 notes in there. So just a variation on technique. It's handy to have up your sleeve just in case you need it, and it works great here. Let's close out the second half here of part A. Measures 5 and 6 are the same as the beginning. The tag here, measures 7 and 8. What we have here is, well, starts out pretty cruisy, but then there's triplet, another follow through technique variation. So we're going to pick on that third beat, down, up, up. So looking at what notes we have there, those 3 triplet notes, we have down, then up on string 2, then up on string 3. Up, up on string 2 and 3. So the triplet, down, up, up, and then beat 4 back to down and then up. So measure 7, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up. So it works great. I mean, we could again go down, up, down. And that's great for that tempo, but what about when we're playing quicker? It does get a lot harder. So if you can practice in the follow through technique there for that triplet, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Trust me, when we get quicker, it is much easier. So the follow through technique, we've approached in a couple of different ways. The pickup at the beginning, the triplet, down, down, up. Then the triplets in measure 4, down, up, down, up, down, up, just straight alternating. But then the triplet here in measure 7, down, up, up. So remember the follow through technique though, the idea is when you're moving to a string, pick it in that direction you have to move. So in this example here, we went down, then up, and then we have to move up to string 3. So we pick that as an up stroke. In the pickup note, we're going down and then moving to the next string there, first string. So moving in that downward direction. That's the idea. And then when you're on the same string, just alternate. Measure 8 now. So measure 8, firstly that pick up there on beat 4, same as the beginning, but the triplet here, this time, we're not going to pick it, we're going to hammer on pull off. So watch your timing, don't rush it too much, we want to spread the notes out. So triplet, 1 and a 2 and 3, 4 and a 1. Timing in general is going to be really important for those triplets, so keep your ear on it. Listen to how we've been playing it here, but again, hammer on triplets, hammer on pull up triplet. 1 and a 2 and 3, 4 and a 1 and a 2 and 3, 4 and a. Now those two measures together are a great little practice there. Measure 7. Into measure 8. Pick strokes, a little bit different. Standard approach in a standard quarter note, eighth note rhythm. Triplets were varying it depending on the grouping of the notes. Follow through technique, straight alternating picking, all dependent on where the notes are, where they're sitting, where they're moving to. So it's great to include the follow through technique in your picking style. It's a really useful technique, so not just straight alternating picking, following the rhythm. When we've got the triplets, it worked great. We could actually use a follow-through technique in general for the rest of the tune. I haven't included in this exercise. We're just working on the triplets for this one. Okay, so take your time with it. Get to know the melody really well, but really focus in on that picking hand. Spend some time on them slowly, really work up those triplet exercises, making sure that you're keeping an eye on your right hand picking direction. So you can experiment with other ways of picking the notes, of course you can. It's really important that you have good control over your technique and you can control the movement of your pick in the direction you want it to be. But the follow through technique and then the alternating on the two groups of triplets works really nicely, so do give it a practice. Okay, so when you're ready, if you want to have a look at part B, jump over to pickinglessons.com. You'll find the next part of this lesson where we're going to break it down and work on the techniques we need there. You'll also find that tablature. You've also got a play along and a backing track for this one as well you can download, so pickinglessons.com. I'll see you there.